So what was it about LaJoie? Was he just one of those guys, just like that guy at Lanier, that you just got off on the wrong foot and you never could? It never ended.
Made a long story short, I would say back then a bunch of the teams had someone that always booked your hotel rooms.
Yeah.
We go to Talladega. Something got messed up, so it was us, Elton Sawyer's team, LaJoie, someone else. So we always joked around with Elton's guys, and something happened with like fireworks. Well, I had a bottle rocket, and I leaned over the rail and I threw it in, Elton's room. Bob's in there too. And that bottle rocket goes in, sets Bob's jacket on fire.
Bob who?
Sutton.
He owns the car.
Yeah, him and
he owns
Aiken.
Elliott's car. Yes.
Elton Sawyer's car.
Right.
So that night I had a Pontiac, car, and they kept setting the alarm off. Well, get up the next morning and my car's on jack stands.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man. Well, I go out there and look. There's a big dent inside of my car. So I was talking to his guys, like, man, who put the dent in the car? They're like, LaJoie. He was beating up against it. He was the one setting the alarm off a lot. So I was like, that's all right. He can pay for it. So we go.
Is that the first?
Yeah.
That's the first.
This is
domino?
What started it?
Well, that kind of, I wasn't really mad. I just like, hey, he's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, we go to the driver's meeting. He gets up and talks and says, hey, everybody needs to give and take.
Where you at?
Talladega.
Okay.
He goes, everybody needs to give and take at the beginning of the race. So it's like, good. Well, 8 laps in, he hits us like through the tri-oval, and then Nemechek hits us. Well, me and Nemechek parked in there, and Nemechek come over and said a couple of words, and it pissed me off even more.
Nemechek said what?
That he knew something was fixing to happen. I guess with what was going on.
He said, he's like, I knew something was going to happen in the race. Like, I knew a wreck was going to happen.
No, he was saying at the very beginning the way some guys were driving.
Right. He's like, I knew
Something's
that's bound to happen. And did you feel like he put that on you? Why did that piss you off?
Because Randy.
Oh, I got
So
you.
it's like, all right, the dent,
So
and then like this.
So Nemechek fired you up even more.
Yes, he did. So we get out there and run, the car's tore up, and, into the race comes, and I'm still pretty pissed about it. So we run out of gas, and I finally coast around, come in. I said, fill it back up. And they're like, man, race, there's only like 1 lap left. I said, fill it back up. So they filled it up, and I won't name the spotter, but he knew what I was fixing to do. And, we took back off, and I guess we were in turn 1. He goes turn 4, start finish line. LaJoie finally got up, hit him. And
You ran into his car.
yeah.
Race over?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just more like the anger, I guess, at the time. And, like when you get upset, you do things. Well, we all go in the NASCAR trailer, and
did NASCAR come over and say, hey, man, we saw that. You got to come to the trailer?
At the time, nobody really saw what happened. They knew something happened.
But they didn't know what happened, but
Nope.
they knew something happened.
Yep.
How'd you get called to the trailer?
Oh, as soon as I pulled in,
They
the
were like,
officials come up, said,
Yeah.
you and your crew chief. So we go in there, and Randy's like, man, I never touched you. I'm like, look, the back of my car is black. There ain't no blue on my car, but there's blue all underneath it. And I said, your car's blue. I said, you hit us. He's like, I never touched you. And
that, I've seen the replay. Like, he flat run over you.
yeah, so, when we went in there, I was never directly asked, did you hit Randy?
Yeah.
They just said kind of what happened. Well, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Mike Helton called his Buckshot. He goes, I need to talk to you. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, did you hit Randy? I said, if you're going to ask me a direct question, I'm going to give you a direct answer. I said, yes. I said, but you never asked me in that trailer, did I hit him?
Yeah.
You just said, hey, what happened? And I told you. And I said, but, he wrecked us. I said, he goes into that driver's meeting. So that kind of started right there between me and him. And I don't know that we had any other issues until Bristol.
Yeah.
And
So this was
yeah.
in '97.
yeah,
but hold tight. So what was the repercussions of that after Mike Helton's calling you? Did you get fined? Did you get dock points? Like, what happened?
I think I got $5,000 fine, 50 points.
Okay. So did you regret it?
At the time, no. But, looking back on, things, when that race is over, yeah, I mean, I don't believe in really hitting people. I mean, some guys take their seat belts off, or whatever. But it was just, you're in like the heat of the moment, I guess.
And my last question about it, hearing you tell this story, was anybody trying to talk you out of that? You said your spotter knew about it, knew what you were doing, giving you at least info about where LaJoie is, right? So there's nobody else just saying Buckshot, cool down, or whatever. Crew chief, nobody.
No.
Okay.
I don't think they really knew until it was kind of,
After the fact.
yep. Yeah.
Okay. But no regrets. Even after Helton, all that stuff, you're just like, look, he had it coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go to Bristol.
Bristol, always look at it like this, if you bump someone, and you to get on around them, if you've been on them, and they're not losing other positions, at short tracks, that's just part of it to me. And that's what happened like with Randy.
You bumped him.
Barely bumped him.
Passed him.
Yep. And that's it. He didn't lose a spot. He didn't lose anything. Go down to the next corner, dumps me. But, at that time after that race, what's so funny is he says, hey, he got a run on me. I'll let him go. We go down turn one, and, he checked up. People checked up in front of us. I'm like, there ain't nobody in damn front of us. And, I mean, he lifted us, spun us, and, yeah, I was fired up right then. Because I was like, I've had it. You wrecked us at Talladega. Now you wreck us here.
Why do you think that he was sort of had this agenda for you? Because Randy didn't wreck other people, but you and him seemed like y'all just couldn't wait to do it.
We never had words like before. We never had any problems. No, I mean, nothing. It was just Talladega.
Would y'all talk to each other at the track?
No.
Say hey, wave, nothing.
No.
So y'all, there was no communication between any of these incidents, good or bad.
No.
Yeah.
Did you think it was over after Talladega, though? Like, did you suspect that it would carry on, even if you didn't like the guy?
No, I didn't. I thought, hey, it was just, all right, it happened. It's over with.
Okay, so you thought it was over. Then Bristol happens, and now it's not over, and now you got these feelings are all back.
Yeah.
So you get dumped, you're mad, and then he's like, I'm not sorry, right? That's even worse, isn't it? I mean, when a guy does something like that and has zero remorse or it takes no responsibility,
Yeah.
that makes it even worse, don't it?
Yeah.
So now you're like, in your mind, are you thinking, I'm getting his ass back?
No, I looked at it, at Bristol, hit him a little bit. That's over. I wasn't looking at going, wrecking him, somewhere else. I think we got together at Nazareth and, it destroyed his car. But it's like he said, I think if I remember, we all went into the one corner at Nazareth and it got bunched up. And he got in the back of Patty. I got in the back of him. He hit the wall. We did not give each other an inch. I mean, ever. And I don't remember what race or what happened between me and him. But I think we were at Charlotte. We got called into the trailer with crew chiefs and everything. And was told, if you wreck each other, we're going to park you. You're sitting a race. If you're in the same accident, and neither one of you caused it, whatever. If you're both in it, we're parking you, and you're going to miss the next race. We're not going to have it, anymore. And you couldn't fit a piece of paper in between our car at times, but we didn't touch. I mean, I don't remember. I think it was before that we were at Loudon. It was faster than him. And finally, got a run on him, got beneath him, and hit, he hit the wall. Well, I looked at it. I'd ridden behind you. I was faster. We've had problems. You should have let me go. And I think Jeff Green was behind us, and we were on the plane ride home, and me and him were talking, and I go, what'd you think about it? I said, you were there. He goes, I think you're both at fault. He goes, I think Randy should have given you the room because you were there. He goes, but I look at it, if you'd have given it probably 2 more laps, you probably would have passed him. It wouldn't have been a problem. But you two guys have had so many problems together, neither one of you are given. And I think it was pretty much after NASCAR talk, everything kind of stopped between us. We may have bumped each other, but everything pretty much settled. And actually, I called him in 2009, I think, about doing my boys' quarter midget seats. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, come up, no problem. And I talked to him one other time, kind of quick. Thought, hey, over. And then he come on here and he started saying stuff. I'm like, man.
Did you? Oh, so you heard what he was saying on here?
I ended up listening because I got phone calls. They're like, hey, LaJoie's like giving you hell. And I'm like listening to it. And I'm like, dude, you're telling 2 separate stories. You say one thing after the Bristol race. You come on here and then you say something completely different.
What did he say here that got you so upset?
That he did it on purpose. Wrecked us
Admitted
at Bristol. Yeah. But I mean, it's just like, hey, what happened back then, the way I look at it.
Well, I think you already knew that, right?
Yeah.
You already knew it, and you just hearing him admit it was made an old wound fresh.
Maybe it's because, I don't know, was it 2 years ago when Cole Custer at Darlington did like a throwback scheme, and I had to do like a few like radio interviews. I didn't talk bad about Randy at all. I just say, hey, what happened back then? Hey, everybody, has someone usually they don't get along with, but hey, all that's kind of done. It's over with. So I just look at it, hey, what happened in the past, leave it. And then you come on and you're like bringing stuff up. I'm like, all right.
We're a bit stirs, I think.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that.
Probably. And I do recognize that it sucks to have to explain Rex from 25 years ago.
All right, guys, I know a little bit about cars, so believe me when I tell you that Tire Pros, they're the real deal. They've got great people, great service, and they can take care of all your automotive maintenance needs. Plus, they're a sponsor of this show, so they got great taste in podcasts. So check out Tire Pros. Follow them on Facebook and tell them that I sent you.